Hello everyone, and this is my bulletproof armour. It's like a whole arm with a bit of a shoulder pad. It's not that great, but it's alright. It looks kind of cool. It's got a handle on the end here because it's literally so heavy that you probably couldn't hold it without the handle. Or most people probably couldn't hold it without the handle. I also got to make sure that it doesn't click out. Sometimes it goes out of position and it can really pinch you pretty bad. But we've got the gauntlet piece here, relatively thick steel. It's not super thick, would probably stop at 9mm, maybe a few levels above that as well. So the wrist, the sort of forearm goes in here. I've got a nice thick piece of steel here to sort of block bullets from the side, or swords, or whatever's attacking you. Then we've got a nice big thick disc of steel over here for the arm joint. I've got a nice big pointy elbow piece, which is really impractical and bad for your car seat. Sticking out the side here, you can sort of jab stuff with it. Then we've got the sort of upper arm plates here, and then we've got our sort of main upper arm plates going around here, and we've got a loop to cover the inside of the arm. Obviously not everywhere is covered, but we've got this big old chunky shoulder piece. I think this was from an eye bar. As you can see, I cut the eye bar over here and sort of bent it. It was so hard to bend, it was really thick. And especially because I was cold forge bending it, I didn't have acetylene torch or anything to heat it up, so it took ages to bend, but I eventually got it there. And that just welded on with this giant, clunky, massive steel bolt. Then there's another little shoulder pad piece here. And to connect it so that it articulates, I've sort of gone with a bit of a lazy route. And I've just got a link of chain welded on here. It's sort of like apocalyptic looking armour, or something you might imagine Ned Kelly wearing perhaps. It's pretty heavy. I can't remember exactly how heavy it is, but it's fairly heavy. It'd be at least 10 kgs. So I may as well just go ahead and put it on real quick. Alright, so this is what it looks like when worn. It's got a big old massive protector on the inside here. It's fairly protected. You sort of have to hold on to the... It does articulate, you can move it around, sort of. Obviously movement's a little bit restricted, but you can still sort of stretch out in that. There's a bit of an exposed spot here, in the middle of the elbow here. There's no covering for that. I imagine you have to just cover that with chainmail or something, I don't know. And got this big, massive, clunky shoulder piece that just sits on here. And we've got an old DSLR camera strap that's meant for holding a camera around your neck, and that's just sort of tied on through some holes in this piece of eye bar here. It's pretty good. I was able to punch a tree down, a very small tree I must say, just by hitting it with this spiky tip of this metal piece here. You've got to be really careful though, because if you come in at the wrong angle, you'll just smack your knuckles really hard on the tree, and your hand will be in between the tree and this giant clunk of metal, so it's very painful. As you can see, it's got pretty nice articulation here. Something that can accidentally happen here is you can pull it out of joint, so this disc is capable of coming out and locking over the top of here, which makes it very hard to get off. So it's not a great piece of armour. But it is most definitely quite probably bulletproof to like a really low caliber gun, a 9mm or something. It might even be able to stand higher if you get a deflection or something like that, but really impractical. I mean, imagine running out and you're like, please just shoot my big metal arm and don't hit anywhere else. As you can see, I'm completely exposed other than this tiny piece of armor on my arm. I mean, obviously if you had a full suit it would be different, but someone would just pull out a bigger gun and you'd be down. So pretty pointless, but still cool anyway. Looks like a prop from a movie or something, like a Mad Max movie. There's like apocalyptic armor and stuff like that. You can still lift the arm up, but you've got to sort of rotate it so that it does the right thing. And there's also a problem that can happen, which is where the shoulder piece locks under the upper arm piece, and then you just can't move your shoulder barely at all, so you've got to sort of pull it out and sit it there. But yeah, it's still pretty cool. Piece of sort of bulletproof armour for your arm. Very heavy and impractical, would not recommend. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.